And that's for the piggies in every US city thinking a seat in the back row is Porsche because of European history. They miss seeing the monocle though, so I be in the front row on days I am making dough. All alone, in the zone, on the phone, until the trailers go off the screen, along with all those production companies that never did a thing for me.
It isn't like the Wayans didn't come up off of In Living Color. So sketch comedy is, even at the twilight of their careers, all they still have to offer for this scary movie revival. I find it fascinating that the Wayans crest still has the ability to leave audience members stymied, though I can't say whether that is out of awe or disappointment. Even Lorne Michaels knows that not every skit is going to hit. Granted, vets like the Wayans are aware of this too. So as they throw everything they have into this, there is obviously fat that needs to be trimmed from this picture. I hate to invoke the spirit of cancel culture, but the running joke of making light of the mistreatment of U.S. black males is now so interwoven into the tapestry of the U.S. that it doesn't even elicit much of a response. The rampant homosexual jokes were more horrific than humorous, given the gratuitous nature shown to demonize that sexual preference. It begs someone to wonder what the Wayans would have to make light about if they took sex and ethnicity out of their bit. If all those jokes were taken out of this movie, then there would be spoofs of some of the finer horror and action films of the 2020s as well as the worst, while allowing the plot of generational wars from X to Alpha to blossom with biting social commentary about a pharmaceutically lobotomized, lackadaisical, violent, narcissistic, debaucherous, and insensitive domestic populace. That doesn't sound like a bad movie there. And that would have been a turn from what was expected of this franchise. But instead, the Wayans brought back the Weinstein's Miramax label for something familiar and comfortable for themselves, no matter how uncomfortable this was for their audience to watch. Scary Movie 6 doesn't thaw out well coming from the Y2K time capsule. And it's all too obvious that the Wayans only agreed to doing this film because of Marlon's recent issue with payment of arrears, as he lambasted on in a few scenes and writes ad nauseum about in the closing credits. But it's going to take more than gay jokes and ethnic slurs to get the next generation of Wayans through the automated future. The up-and-coming B-listers that crept up in this film will regret having this one in their filmography. And I believe that the nostalgia faded fast on set for the returning castmates when they took a look at what this film's cacophony of screenwriters cooked up. Though there's a couple of solid nods to the golden years of this franchise, some scene-stealing performances by Charlene Amoya and Sydney Park, as well as a couple of cool drug-induced dream sequences, Scary Movie 6 is at its bare bones a GoFundMe campaign for a new Millennium reunion tour for a pop act that really only had one or two hits on every album. And 2 decades later, nothing has changed. The recipe is still the same, and some dishes taste better in memory than front and center. Absence does make the heart grow fonder, but that doesn't mean it's time to make a booty call. Yes, that turn of phrase was brought back from the dead by the myriad of screenwriters for this parody picture. Time for another generation to get high and forget the majority of this scary movie minutes after watching it. But maybe, just maybe, the euphemism of the sins of the father not needing to be repeated should be heeded.
Pop your popcorn. That's for the piggies in every US city thinking a seat in the back row is Porsche because of European history. They miss seeing the monocle though, so I be in the front row on days I am making dough. All alone, in the zone, on the phone, until the trailers go off the screen, along with all those production companies that never did a thing for me.